All right, let's take a look at Bluebook. So you probably noticed AP Classroom has been evolving in how it's looked this year. The whole point of that is to give kids the experience of seeing what Bluebook will look like. So this is what a question in Bluebook will look like. A few things that I would like to mention to you that you can definitely share with your students. And the first one is the timer. So this is at the top of the screen. So as soon as they put in the code for the exam and the exam begins, that timer is going to start. They cannot pause it. They cannot stop it. If they decide to take an unscheduled break in the middle of a section, the timer keeps going. So it's not going to stop. But one thing they can do is to hide the timer. So I know a lot of my kids get really stressed out when they have a timer on the screen and they say, I just don't want to look. I don't want to see it. So they can hide it here if they want to. And as I was walking around our SAT today, I saw that there were a good handful of kids who had hidden the timer. They just didn't want to know, but they knew it was still going on. So that's a really nice little tool. Another thing students will be able to do is in the upper left corner of every question, you'll see a little shield, and it's called Mark for Review. So when we do multiple choice or any kind of test question, sometimes we leave one and say, you know what, I don't want to do this right now. I'm going to move on and I'll come back to this. But when you're on a screen, it's really hard to know what to come back to. So this Mark for Review is there so that kids can flag any question that they don't want to answer right now and then come back to it. And I'll show you in a second what that's going to look like. And here we go when we come back to it. So at the bottom of their screen, they will always be able to click on that little black box, and it will show them all the questions that they need to do for this part of the exam. And it will also show them if anything has been flagged. So question 1 has been flagged because I marked it red. So I will know, oh, that's right. I needed to go back and do number 1. Forgot about that. It will also show them which questions are done. So when they are answered, I think they turn blue or green. So they'll be able to see which ones they've done, which ones they haven't done, and which ones they flagged. And so that's really nice that they're able to go back and do that. Another tool that is in the Bluebook app is in the upper right corner of every question, and it looks like a little ABC that's been crossed out. So that's the way that they're going to reduce their answer choices. So when we teach kids how to do multiple choice, we say, well, cross off the ones you know that are wrong. Well, how do you do that on screen, right? So the College Board has come up with a way to do that, and that is with this little button right here. So if they don't know that A and B are not the answers, they can just cross those out, and they are going to remain crossed out. So even if they leave this question and work on something else and come back, they will see, oh yeah, I knew that A and B were not the answers. I need to pick between C and D. So that's also a very cool tool. So the day before our SAT, I gave my kids a tour of all of these things. I will be doing the same with my AP students as well to make sure they're really clear on what tools they have going in.
Perfect. And in that folder that we're sharing afterwards are these slides. So if you want to grab these to do this kind of tour with your students, that's a great opportunity too.
That would be fantastic, yes. All right, so now we are taking a look at some other tools that are available. We are in a no calculator section, so you'll notice the calculator is not available here, but there is something called highlighters and notes. So what we will see here, and I know when I'm teaching, I always say, circle this word or circle that word, this is important. And so as far as text goes, our students are going to be able to highlight anything that's important. So looking at this, I would say, circle the word rate. Well, we can highlight the word rate. It's not super dark highlighting, but it is something. So all they have to do is click on that, and then they can highlight any text that they believe is important. One thing that is important to remember, though, is that all of our graphs and our tables and equations cannot be highlighted or annotated in any way. So that's unfortunate, but if it's text, they can highlight it. So if that's something that is useful for your students, they can do that. All right. And then finally, we get to what's been the hot topic of conversation all year long, and that is the embedded calculator. So that is going to be available on the calculator questions only. It's also available in AP Classroom right now too, so you can demo it there. I want to show you though what it looks like. So it's a pretty small little calculator, and that's what pops up. So the students can make it bigger if they want to, but that's as big as it gets. So that's kind of important to realize is that honestly, I believe having your handheld with you is going to be the most comfortable for our students because that's what they do all the time is they go to their handhelds. But this calculator will be there and they can use it if they need to, but it's not like when they have their whole screen filled with the calculator. It's not going to be like that. So this is what they're going to have. So, I mean, it's worthwhile for them to know what their tools are, but also to remember that one that's in their hand sometimes is the most comfortable and they know exactly what to do with that.